everybody. It's Todd Butera, and we are back with New Ambassadors interview series. I'm not sure if this is number 11, 12, or 13 because, well, I've been drinking. No, that's not true.
That's a big surprise.
Mark, this is so awful. HOFMAIER, right?
Yes, it's so
I
easy.
just making sure I said your name right. If people say HOFMAIER, HOFMAIER. I've always said Mark HOFMAIER. I should get that right. I directed you in a play.
You did.
So, right. So I need to know how to say your name, and I was right.
Well, you are spot on, as always.
Welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
And welcome to the interview series. Mark is a fairly new member of New Ambassadors, though he'd always been there. I'm not even sure how people become members. I think it's talent, so that's a good thing. So we can say you must be talented.
Well, you're very flattering. I could think of a few other ways, but I'll accept that one. Thank you.
Yeah, but you're married, and you shouldn't be sleeping with everybody anymore.
Although many stage wives, why not?
Yeah, why not? Madonna got to the top that
Come
way.
on. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I tried. I think I waited too long before I started sleeping around, and now nobody wants me.
You've used up your quota.
Well, let's get started. So now here's some stuff. It's interesting because, yes, I directed Mark in a play, and there's some things that I didn't know. It's funny how we work on shows. We get into the character, and I think sometimes through almost osmosis, we get to know each other. But there's certain things that we don't really discuss, and some fascinating questions that I have for you.
Good.
Number one, I do not know this. How did the acting bug bite you?
In the rear. With teeth.
From behind.
You're from behind, yeah. Actually, it didn't. It was straight on. I'm a ham bone from way back. What can I tell you? I had an adoring family, and I was born on the 4th of July. So every 4th of July picnic, I had every relative in the world that anybody closely related to me came, and we had this huge picnic. Of course, it was all for me. And I used to regale them with, I could do the entire Bob Newhart album or the entire Vaughn Meader album of JFK or whatever. I mean, so I was, I always mimicked, and I was kind of good at it. And then I guess it was in grammar school, somebody was sick on the day of the play, and the teacher begrudgingly said, I guess we got to give it to HOFMAIER. And I said, here's my chance. So I had part of a very evil, I'll say, ambassador to whatever mythical country it was, who said, no more Christmas. There will be no more Christmas. And I did this part, and the entire school was laughing. I mean, I would say a line, and they laughed. And that's contagious, as you well know. And
yes, it is.
That'll bite you big time. So I guess it got me started, and all throughout high school, I mean, I did plays, and was constantly vociferously warned by mother, father, anybody who was closely knew me to just let this be an avocation. Don't get any ideas of making this a
career.
Yeah, no, yeah, Mark, it's fine if it's a hobby. It's fine if it's an avocation. Don't let anyway, so that's all it takes to make you go, they should have asked me to be a marine biologist.
Yeah, but that's not, that's the one thing I can say about acting in general, whether it's theater, movies, TV, being a personality, you absolutely adore going to work.
Yeah, you do.
You love your work. And I think that's a part of, it's interesting because I'm like, it is a passion, and that love of the work is a passion, but you have to really enjoy doing it. And there are people who don't like to be up front and be in front of people.
They don't. You're right. Well, I did. And, it just was sort of a natural progression. And I studied and in college and couldn't wait to get to New York City, man. Acting class with these well-renowned guru teachers, and having a hamburger in a restaurant that had sawdust on the floor, and going to second acting a show and sneaking in with your program. I mean, it was a drug. It was like I couldn't get enough of it. And then there were many of the ups and downs and all that. And fortunately, at the right time in my life, I met the woman of my dreams, and we second acted shows too. But you know, it became a more of a steady career, and I was fortunate enough to get a lot of work in regional theater and subsidize that with commercials and voiceovers, you know, commercial work. And so I've been able to sustain myself as an actor pretty much, you know, with the odd bartending thing involved. And about 12 years ago, I guess I got an auxiliary career as a coach started, and still do that, you know, because it's great, and it too is a passion, but and also kind of related to acting. But you have to do much more listening as a coach than you do as an actor. Although you should be a good listener as an actor.
You should. Now that's interesting. I don't think I knew that you're not a New Yorker.
Came
Originally.
from Philadelphia, not far away.
Did not know that.
But married one, and been here most of my life, so I consider myself a New Yorker.
Very cool. All right, on to question 2. How did you originally get involved with New Ambassadors? Was that through Drew Jordan?
It was. What a great guy. Really generous. What a wonderful spirited guy. We were doing a play, and one night he says to me, "Mark, come with me to my theater company's lab." And I did. And I was so impressed. I kept coming to lab after lab after lab. I thought the talent was terrific. I thought the writing was great. And the company, I was so impressed, was so insular, and everybody knew each other, and everybody was, when you could do this, was hugging and, oh, hey, Todd, hey, Marie, you know, and it was just this warmth and generosity that I felt. And David came to see me, fortunately, in a stage reading of a play called The Best Man by Gore Vidal, and then came to another lab, and I got to do this reading of a play by Albee, and directed by Todd Butera.
Yes,
so
directed by
that
me.
became my entree to Ambassadors. So I thank you, sir.
Very cool. I was thrilled to have you and both of you and
Susan.
And Susan, yeah. It was a Dreamcast, wonderful, easy. I shouldn't say that. I should say I had to work so hard, but I didn't. That was what was nice.
It was great. Wonderful experience.
Yeah. All right, number 3. I'm assuming it's good. You touched on it. What has been your experience with the company so far?
Oh, nothing but A pluses. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, it's great to do in person. Obviously, this is not quite theater, but it's a good substitute. And having the opportunity to do all of our Zoom readings has been really a plus. What a bonus in this crazy time we're living in, to at least have an opportunity to get together and read plays with wonderful actors and playwrights. And I loved Irregulars. It was just so much fun. And the only downside of it was about halfway into the second act, my Zoom blew up, and it was like.
But you were brilliant. That role was made for you. I know David's monitoring that, but I'm sure he would agree. You were and I've been involved with Irregulars from its inception. You are perfect for that role.
Well, thanks. And it was a blast. And my only regret with any of it is the technical stuff. I mean, I think I've gotten on a little bit. I even had it motivated me to get my laptop sort of upgraded and repaired. And I think I took care of the problem, knock wood. And it's just been nothing but wonderful experiences with New Ambassadors. I think it's a terrific group with a great goal and a great mission and good people. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Lovely. We're happy to have you. Number 4. This is interesting. What would be your dream role? Do you have one? Do you have a dream role or a dream?
I guess so. I mean,
on directing anything.
At this point in my life, as I'm getting ready for the walk, I'm just kidding. I've always wanted to do James Tyrone. I think he's an incredible character. I can relate. I had this opportunity to do this play, which is sort of it's not even on my resume anymore, but everybody knows what it is if you mention it. It's Perfect Crime, and it was a great job, and I did it for years simply because it was health insurance and benefits and all that stuff. But that's my Count of Monte Cristo, and so I can relate to a guy who said, you know, I had a job. Who's going to give up a job? And yet your heart yearns to do Shakespeare. It's like, oh, come on, you know. So I would love to do James Tyrone anywhere, anytime, for anyone. In the meantime, I've written a play about FDR, which I really want to do for college students to get them to register to vote. And that's a great part too. I mean, to get to do that. So I'm working on that diligently, trying to memorize it. You know, you write yourself a good part, now you got to learn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say James Tyrone.
Terrific. If you didn't, this is an interesting question. I love this. So if you hadn't ended up being an actor, director, whatever, being in the arts, what, if anything, would you have done?
Such a great question. I didn't even make it through my first college because I was so upset about the theater department. Anyway, I would say, well, from a childhood, as long as I can remember as a kid, I always wanted to be a professional athlete. But you know what? I wasn't good enough. So putting that aside, what would I have done? I probably would have become a teacher, because at some point in my life, I realized I have a capacity to coach, and I love learning, and I love mentoring, and coaching, teaching, training became a second profession for me. When I kind of subsidized, when my kids were getting older and I had to start to think about, ooh, they need to go to college. I'm going to need to like get real here. I pursued a career as a trainer. Fortunately got a job with a company that hired actors, and it was a great segue. We trained executives to become good speakers. And I really liked it. I mean, comfortable being in front of people, in front of an audience, but teaching them something that was a real skill set and something that was really valuable and help them, you know, get promoted and progress in their career. So I would say probably I would have become some kind of a teacher, some kind of a coach.
All right. Now, what has been your favorite experience so far being a part of the New Ambassadors community?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think, well, perhaps recently getting involved in the Corona Chronicles, because it's written by one author, one playwright, and it's kind of like having your own miniseries. It's kind of like having your own Schitt's Creek, you know what I mean?
True.
And you've got this episodic thing going and a through line, so there's a character and a relationship, and it's been fun. It's been a real blast, and I have a great scene partner, as you well know, and a wonderful playwright and a good director. So it's been fun, but I've enjoyed everything, and not to be, you know, gratuitously generous, but I mean, it's really been I've enjoyed all of the Zooms. They've been fun, and hopefully I'll get to curate another one soon, because we had to kind of put a play that we were thinking about doing on a back burner because of things that are happening now in our country.
Yeah.
For good reasons.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we will, but for good reasons.
His scene partner in COVID Chronicles is Susan Richards, so near and dear to my heart, because I directed both of them in It's About Forgiveness. So yeah,
that was great.
That's amazing.
If I could ask you one thing, if I said to you, Todd, you can ask me one question and it can be anything you want, what would it be?
Oh, for God's sake. That's not fair. You turn around the interview on me?
Except for how old are you? That we have to leave in limbo.
Well, I'm 32 and you're 38.
That's right. There you go. Okay, you answered it. Okay.
One question to ask you.
It could be as silly as you want.
No, I think I have one. Being married and having kids.
Yeah.
Because I don't. And so that's an interesting question. And I think most people would answer the same. No matter what happened in your career, I'm assuming that is probably your greatest achievement, yes?
I would give you a resounding yes. Number one, absolutely. They are the loves of my life. And you know, you think about it, like, what if I hadn't met and didn't have kids? Would I have had a career? Who knows? Yeah, maybe. I might have done more regional theater, you know. But gosh, I know so many actors who are of an age and they're single and they're, you know, and you know, I feel their pain. I get they're lonely, and I have known such joy and such gratification. And now people are sending me pictures of like when they were like 6 and 8 And there we were, and you know, when I was young, and it's like, wow, I remember that. I remember that playground. I remember that swimming pool at the Y, you know, or whatever. And
No,
it's like,
yeah.
we did it. We did it as actors. My wife and I, we've raised 2 kids in the city. Now, we had a lot of help. We had her family, extensive family network in Hell's Kitchen. So we really had a babysitting network. We were really lucky, really lucky.
I think that's
And
so important, though. I think during this time of COVID, and this is an interesting thing, and I hope this makes it to the edit, because I think that's whatever family even that you create, and I think having lost both my parents, and I think whatever family you can have, that's more important, more than anything, more than any career.
yeah,
But I do think, oddly, that's also one of the things that feeds us as performers, is that connection to other people.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
whether you have your own family or it's a family that you create, I
Hmm.
think that is paramount in your life, because when it comes down to it, and I think COVID has taught us that,
Hmm.
that's all that really matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Todd. I mean, we're all about family. And we love each other, and we have a community. And what's great, my wife always says that, what's great about actors, suppose we all got together, we were doing a play somewhere, and we didn't know each other. We would know each other in about 5 minutes, right? I mean, and then we'd go out for drinks. Then we'd really know each other. But,
True.
you know, the play starts, we have a read through, and actors don't mess around with a lot of small talk. It wouldn't be like, oh, and what do you know, we get right to it. So Todd, so like, tell me, man, are you, you know, and we get right down to the nitty
We're,
gritty.
we're
And
very
that's what,
brazen. That's true.
and that's what makes us so close, such kindred spirits, you know?
Yeah.
And God, I wouldn't have missed this for anything. I don't have any regret about it. Mark, if you had to do over again, would you be that? I'd be absolutely in a heartbeat. I would pick this career, you know, exponentially. I might do a few things differently, but you know, I would definitely pick the same career, because the joys that it's given us in terms of the people we've met and the relationships we've been able to form is just beyond measure. So you're right. Family is it.
It's totally irreplaceable.
Absolutely.
That's a wonderful note to end this on.
All right.
Thank you, Mark, for coming and to talking to me, and I hope to see you very soon.
I do too, Todd. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to working with you again real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good
Be
night.
well. Be well. You bet.